Hello dear students, welcome to the lecture on measurements and instrumentation. Today we will be looking at the topic power measurement in three-phase AC circuits. So there's a theorem named Blondel's theorem which gives the minimum number of wattmeters required to measure power in a three-phase system which is having k wires. So if the system is having AC system is having k wires, then the number of wattmeters required to measure power is k minus 1. So if it is having 4 wires, you should at least have 3 wattmeters to measure the power, regardless of the case where your load is balanced or unbalanced. So that is your theorem, which is a general theorem that we associate with the measurement of power using wattmeters. Now, while we are measuring active power P using wattmeters, we have two cases of load which we generally have. The one is the ideal case where you have a balanced load, and the practical case where you have unbalanced load. So if you are going to measure a balanced load with a three-phase 4-wire, so how do you indicate a three-phase 4-wire? So that is, you have three phases. If you are having a star connection, if you have three phases, okay, so you have three wires like this, and then you have one neutral. Okay, so this is R, Y, B. So this is three-phase 4-wire system. If your neutral connection is absent, if you are not having the provision of neutral, so this is a three-phase 3-wire system. So in case of balanced load, if it is a three-phase 4-wire system, you require only a single wattmeter to measure the three-phase power. And if it is a three-phase 3-wire system, you should have at least 2 wattmeters. If it is in the case of an unbalanced load where the loads of different phases, say R phase, Y phase and B phase may differ, you have an unbalanced system. So in such a case, if you are having three-phase 4-wire system, you should at least have 3 wattmeters, and if it is a three-phase 3-wire system, it should have at least have 2 wattmeters. So to generalize, if it is a three-phase 3-wire system, you should at least have 2 wattmeters, irrespective of the case where you have a balanced or unbalanced load. But if it is a three-phase 4-wire system, you can measure your total power consumed by the circuit. If it is a balanced load, you can have do it with a single wattmeter. If it is an unbalanced load, you should at least have 3 single-phase wattmeters or a single three-phase wattmeter. So this is about single-phase wattmeters. All the numbers mentioned here are single-phase wattmeters. You can measure this using one three-phase wattmeter also. Instead of 3 single-phase wattmeters, you can have it using one three-phase wattmeter. That also can be done. Now based on this, the number of wattmeters required, we have 3 methods by which you can measure power. One is 2 wattmeter method, then you have 3 wattmeter method, and finally we have single wattmeter method. Using all the 3, based on the type of connection that you have, you can measure the power. Now the first one is 2 wattmeter method. So this particular 2 wattmeter method is applicable for balanced as well as unbalanced load for a three-phase 3-wire system. So here you have three-phase 3-wire system. Okay, your neutral wire is absent. Okay, so in such a case, even if your load is balanced or unbalanced, you can have the power measured with the help of 2 wattmeters. Now here we are considering a balanced load condition, which is a case of unbalanced condition. So if you are having all the loads equal, then it is a balanced condition. So for deriving or expressing the power that is consumed, yes, we are making use of the balance condition. So here we can see that how the connections will check. We'll just see how the connections are done. So we have R, Y and B phases. 3 phases are here, and we are connecting the current coils of the wattmeter. So this is your current coil and this is your pressure coil or the voltage coil. Current coil is the series element or the fixed coil. So this is connected in series with the load. This is a load Z. IR is a current that is flowing through this particular meter. Now the pressure coil is connected across this phase, R phase, and another phase which is B. Okay, you can see that your connection starts from here through the pressure coil. At the end of the pressure coil is connected to the B phase. Then you have the second wattmeter which is connected in Y phase. The current carried by the current coil is IY. Now the current coil is connected in series with the load in Y phase, and the pressure coil is connected across the Y phase and B phase. So here you can see that in B phase there is no current coil connection. You only have the voltage points. Okay, so we have M, L, then you have C, B. So that voltage points of both the wattmeters W1 and W2. So here also you have V. So you are bunching the V together and you are connecting it to phase B where you have no current coil connection. So that is how you make the connections. This can be connected in another way also. So suppose this is your current coil. You have R, Y, B. So you have another current coil here. Okay. This is another way of connecting it. Okay, so you have this is 1 meter and this is the other meter. Okay, so here in this case the current coil currents are IR and IB, and the pressure coil is connected across V, RY and VBY. Okay, voltage VRY and VBY. So VRY is coming across a pressure coil, VBY is coming across this particular pressure coil. In this figure we have voltages VRB coming across wattmeter W1, pressure coil of wattmeter W1, and VYB coming across the pressure coil of W2. That you can see from the figure because you are connecting this pressure coil across YB. So we have VYB coming across this. So this is your general connection diagram for 2 wattmeter method with balanced load condition. Now coming to the phasor diagram. Now the current measured by the wattmeter will take the case 1, case of wattmeter W1. So the in case of wattmeter W1, you can see that the current that is flowing through the current coil is IR. Okay, and we are assuming an inductive load where your current is lagging behind the voltage. So in such a case, so you will have a phase angle phi here. Again this IY is lagging behind VYN. VYN is the voltage with respect to neutral point. This is your common point or neutral point. So this is phi, and again IB is also lagging behind VBN by angle phi. So these are phi is your power factor angle. Now what happens? We have we need to find out V. What is the voltage that is coming across this pressure coil? VRB. How will you get VRB? So we have marked VRB here. So we have VRN here or VR here and minus VB. So VRB will be VR minus VB. So this will be VRB. Okay, so this will be VRB. Similarly, we need to get VYB here from for wattmeter W2, VYB. So that is VY minus VB, that will be VYB. Now what will be the angle between VBN and VYN? What will be the angle? This will be 120 degrees, that you know. Now what will be the angle between minus VBN and VYN? Minus VBN and VYN, that is this angle. Okay, this is 120 degree, this will be minus VBN and VYN. This will be 60 degrees. Now what will be the angle between VYB and VYN? What will be this angle? VYB and VYN. This will be half of 60. This will be 30 degree. Okay, again this also will be 30 degree. Okay, so this is 30. All these values are 30 degrees. Now what was the equation that we derived in the last class for power consumed or power indicated by the wattmeter? This was proportional to, power was proportional to VI cos phi. Okay, for phi was the angle between V and I. Okay, phi was the angle between V and I. Now similarly, we need to find out the angle between which all values? Angle between IR and VRB, IR and VRB. So what will be the angle between IR and VRB? What will be the angle? Already this is 30, this is 5. So the angle will be 30 minus 5. Now you need to find out another angle, that is angle between IY and VYB. What will be that? IY and VYB. That will be 30 plus 5. Okay, so these are the angles that you need to establish from the phasor diagram. Now the power measured by the wattmeter W1 is VRB IR cos 30 minus 5. So this angle is 30 minus 5, and the power measured by W2 is VYB IY cos 30 plus 5. So this angle will be 30 plus 5. Now since the load is under balance condition, IR equal to IY equal to IB equal to IL, and VRY, VYB, VB are equal to VL, which is a line voltage. Now the wattmeter readings will be the ones which we already established. Now if you take the sum of the wattmeters, what you will get? VLIL cos 30 minus 5 plus VLIL cos 30 plus 5. So we are replacing VRB with VL, VYB with VL, and IR and IY with IL. Now when you simplify it, you will be getting the equation as this one: W1 plus W2 equal to root 3 VLIL cos phi. Okay, now root 3 VLIL cos phi is the power that is consumed in a three-phase system. So the power consumed can be obtained as sum of the wattmeter readings. So sum of the wattmeter readings of two wattmeters is equal to the power absorbed in a three-phase balanced circuit with 2 wattmeter method. Now how will you determine the power factor from this wattmeter readings? So already we have seen that W1 plus W2 will be equal to root 3 VLIL cos phi. So you have established. Now take W1 minus W2. When you take W1 minus W2, you will be obtaining the relationship as VL IL sin phi. Okay, you will be getting VL IL sin phi corresponding to W1 minus W2, difference between the wattmeter readings. Now dividing the equation 3 by equation 2, W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2, you will be getting, what you will be getting? You will be getting tan phi from this. So tan phi will be equal to root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So this root 3 is common for this. Okay, root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Now you can obtain power factor cos phi as cos of tan inverse this value, cos of tan inverse this value. Okay, so you will be getting the power factor from the wattmeter readings. You are given W1 and W2, so you will be getting the power factor from the wattmeter readings. Okay, by this, with the help of this relationship. Now what is the relationship between power factor and wattmeter reading? How is the power factor going to vary with variation in wattmeter readings? That is also very interesting. So we have the two wattmeter readings, wattmeter indications as W1 equal to VLIL cos 30 minus phi and W2 equal to VLIL cos 30 plus phi. So we'll be substituting for phi for different values of phi, and we'll see how the variation is coming. Suppose you are taking phi is equal to 0. So phi is equal to 0 means you have unity power factor. So this is the point where you have unity power factor. Okay, so phi is equal to 0. So this is your unity power factor. At phi is equal to 0, what you will get? You will get VLIL cos 30, VLIL cos 30. Okay, so W1 equal to W2, both are positive. You are at this point. W1 equal to W2. Now we have considered the case of lagging load. So we have to move in this direction. So this is for leading load, and this is for this direction is for lagging load. So theta is increasing, or phi is increasing from 0 to 90. Now we are getting a value of phi between 0 and 60. Okay, between 0 and 60, what happens? Again, you will have both the values positive, and your W1 will be greater than W2. So W2 is decreasing, W1 is still higher, W1 greater than W2. At phi is equal to 60, what happens? When you put phi is equal to 60, you will have W2 equal to 0, that is cos 90 you will be getting. So that will be W2 will be equal to 0. So that is at this point. At this point W2 will be equal to 0, W1 will be still positive, and the total power consumed will be equal to W1 because W2 is 0. Now after that, once you cross 60 degree, phi is equal to 60 degree, between 90 and 60 and 90 degrees, what will happen? Your W2 turns out to be negative. The value will be negative from 60 up to 90 degree, and W1 is the magnitude of W1 is greater than W2, and the total power is still positive. Though the second wattmeter is reading negative, the total power is still positive. And you might be thinking how your wattmeter will be reading negative. That simply is that you have a 0 point, and your pointer will be indicating in this direction, negative direction. So you have to reverse the current coil connections, and you will be getting a positive direction and give a negative sign for that. That's all. So that will be understanding once you do this experiment practically in the laboratory. Again, when your power factor is 0, that is at phi is equal to 90 degree, W1 will be equal to W2. Both the values magnitudes will be equal, but your total power will be 0 because one is positive and the other is negative. So your total power will be 0. So for ZPF, your total power consumed will be 0. At ZPF, what happens? Your resistance of your load is 0. So in such a case, you'll be either having a purely inductive load or a capacitive load. So in such a case, your power consumed will be 0. So that is again justified here that W1 will be equal to W2, but both are having opposite sign. So your total power consumed by the or indicated by the sum of two wattmeters will be 0. So such a variation can be obtained seen from this figure also. Now if you are considering a leading load, that is a capacitive load, you can just change your signs. So take this as plus and this as minus. So you can exchange these symbols, and you can use these equations to find out the wattmeter readings or the total power consumed in case of a leading load. Okay, your phasor diagram also changes, so your signs also will change accordingly. So this is a change that you have to make if your load is leading in nature. Now we can determine the reactive power using this 2 wattmeter method. So already we had the equation number 3. So when you multiply equation number 3 with root 3, so you have root 3 W1 minus W2 equal to root 3 into VLIL sin phi. So the equation number 3 was W1 minus W2 equal to VLIL sin phi. So you can obtain reactive power from this equation, that is Q equal to root 3 into W1 minus W2. Difference between wattmeter reading into root 3 gives you the reactive power in a 3-phase AC circuit using 2 wattmeter method. So this is for the balanced load condition. This can be applicable for unbalanced load condition also, but we have derived it for the balanced load condition. Now we will take up an example. So we have 2 wattmeters connected to measure power consumed by 3-phase balanced load. So the load is balanced. One of the wattmeter reads 1500 watt and the other reads 700 watts. So P1 equal to 1500 and P2 equal to 700. Find the power factor of the load when both the readings are positive. Okay, so when both the readings are positive, you need to find out the power factor. So you can directly use the equation phi is equal to tan inverse root 3 into P1 minus P2, or W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So when you substitute it, simplify it, you will be getting phi equal to 32.2 degrees and your power factor will be cos phi, which will be equal to 0.846. Okay, so this is the power factor that you get. Now when the second case, when the reading of the second wattmeter is obtained after reversing the current coil connection. So what do you mean by that? That simply means that your second wattmeter was indicating, so this is, suppose this is your scale. Initially your wattmeter is at this position, so this is a scale for W2, wattmeter 2, so at 0 position. So while the meter starts reading, what happens is that meter is indicating here. Instead of going to the positive direction, it is going towards a negative direction. So that simply means that you have a power reversal happening. Now what you do is that you reverse the current coil connection. You reverse the current coil connection. So what happens? Your meter will now read towards the positive side, and you have to give a negative sign here. You have to indicate it with the negative sign, because you have reversed the current direction or current coil connections. So you have minus 700 watt. Now from using the same equation, you can find out the power factor. So you'll be getting power factor 0.21. Rank is 78.1 degree and your power factor will be 0.21. So in this way you can find out the power factor from 2 wattmeter readings. So such sort of questions you can expect. Now in the first slide we have already seen we have 3 wattmeter method for 3-phase 4-wire unbalanced load. So if you have an unbalanced load, you can for a 4-wire system you need 3 wattmeters. So just like we have done for 2 wattmeter method, you can draw the phasor diagram and find out the equations and derive it. So your total power will be W1 plus W2 plus W3, which will be that is the total power consumed in a 3-phase 4-wire unbalanced load will be sum of the 3 wattmeter readings W1, W2 and W3. So that is the result that you get. So this you can verify using a phasor diagram. You can draw your own phasor diagram and verify it. This is single wattmeter method for 3-phase 4-wire balanced load. Okay, so if your load is balanced for a 3-phase 4-wire system, you can use a single wattmeter method. So in a single, how do you connect it? You have the current coil connected in one phase. Here you are connecting it in R phase. So IR is the current that is flowing. Okay, and IR, and pressure coil is connected across VRN, or the voltage across this will be VR or VRN. VRN or VR. Okay, and what will be the angle between these two? So you should have an angle also, because you have a cos phi condition. So this angle will be the power factor angle. IR is lagging behind VR by an angle phi. So the wattmeter reading will be W equal to VR IR cos phi, or VRN IR cos phi. So this is your phase voltage VR. So that will be V phase. IR is I phase. I phase. IR is equal to I phase. It's for a star connection system, I line is equal to I phase. So it will be V phase I phase cos phi. Okay, so you'll be getting V phase I phase cos phi. So your total power consumed will be 3 V phase I phase cos phi. So that is the equation that you have. So when you multiply it with 3, you'll be getting the total power consumed. So your total active power will be 3 into single wattmeter reading. So if it is a balanced load for a 3-phase 4-wire system, you can use a single wattmeter to measure the total power consumed by the balanced load. Now we can also determine the reactive power using a single wattmeter. How do you do that? You are connecting current coil in one line or in one phase, and you are connecting the pressure coil across the other two phases. Here you are connecting, I have connected the current coil in Y phase. So Iy is here. Iy is lagging behind Vy by an angle phi. Okay, so this is a power factor angle phi. And what is the voltage here? The voltage is VRB. I have connected the pressure coil across PC across R and B. So that will be VRB. Now what will be the angle? This angle will be 90 degrees. But you can check, this will be 90 degrees. So what you will be getting? VRB Iy cos 90 plus phi. So that will be equivalent to VLIL sin phi. VLIL sin phi. So your reactive power is root 3 VLIL sin phi. So if you need to find out the reactive power, that will be root 3 into wattmeter reading. So root 3 into wattmeter reading gives you the reactive power consumed by this in this particular load. Okay, so that's how you can measure reactive power using a single wattmeter. So these are the different methods by which you can measure power in a three-phase AC system. So we have gone through 2 wattmeter method, 3 wattmeter method and single wattmeter method, and also for 3-phase 3-wire as well as 3-phase 4-wire systems. Okay, so hope you have understood it. Thank you.